Alright, what is up, guys? It is me, Lumberjack Cracks, here on the Retro Sports Gamer channel. Tom is not here, and as the title says, this is a late night Lumberjack Cracks. It is now 12 a.m., currently a Thursday now, and so what I want to do with this is play some games that Tom wouldn't play on his own. I mean, he would play this, but the thing is, Tom likes to do actual hardware. And me, I'm not too particular about that. I'm okay with playing some emulation. So, obviously, in the left, that's where my face would normally be. But instead, I am playing a DS game. So, the top screen is now taking up the webcam spot. And we are playing Tecmo Kickoff, which is now 10 years old. And defined by Tom's rules, is retro now. And honestly, when I think about the DS, it's so long ago for me. So long ago. I was in middle school when it came out. This game came out in 2008. So it came out while I was in high school. And Tom was obsessed with Tecmo and very excited that this game is coming out. This game does have an online play, which obviously doesn't work because this is an emulator. I think you could probably figure out a way to get this to work, but I don't know if anybody's ever done it. Obviously you can get the NES to work, so you can get this to work, but it's not going to work with the servers, and I don't think any of the DS servers are live. Anyways, I'm rambling. Hi, this is Tecmo Kickoff. This is a pretty good game. It didn't review super well when it came out, but honestly, I think it has all the things that Tecmo is good for. Like the gameplay, it's somewhere in between the Super Nintendo and the NES. I think the rosters are based off of the Super Nintendo game, like a lot of them. But this is a game developed by Polygon Magic. You can see their logo on the side. Published by Tecmo. Obviously, they didn't want to make the game themselves, so they went out to somebody else to make the game. I think they did a really good job. The one cool thing about this game is everything in this game is customizable. So you could actually change the name of the teams, change the name of the players, and when you play through the season, your players actually get better, and you can add stats to them, so eventually you could just have the best teams in the game. And then you could do that with every single team and have unlimited stats to throw around and basically recreate any version of Tecmo you wanted with the roster that you sought fit to it. So if you can see, I have the Packers and the Niners lined up for the matchup, so that's what I'm going to go with. I think this is based off of the Super Nintendo game, but if you look at that pass throw, I'm thinking that's probably not Brett Favre. They might have just completely randomized everything. But I'm just going to go with the logos that I got and the ideas that I have. I think the points are what, if you could see the WTC North, and then there's points after that, that is the allotment for the player attributes for that team, which you can increase. And it seems like going around the teams, everything seems pretty balanced towards the middle. There's no team that's going to be completely dominant in this version of the game. But enough talk, have at you, let's play the game. If I lose this game, I am going to take a shot. If I don't lose the game, I will not take a shot. But I am going to continue drinking while I play this. So this first one, I'm just going to stick with the normal conditions. On the emulator, that looks beautiful. It just looks like a very large screen, like when you go to the arcade and you play some of those shoot 'em ups I'm currently playing with the Super Nintendo controller because it's the most natural thing to play with. I got one with my SNES Classic that works wonderfully with an adapter that I bought for $4 that's supposed to be for Wii Classic controllers. So if any of you are trying to play Tecmo online, what you need to do is find a way to get a hold of a NES Classic and then get an adapter that I have meant for the Wii, and you can basically use an official NES controller without having to do any modding for very cheap. If you can see on the top screen, you just get the scoreboard and all of that. And all the gameplay happens on the bottom screen. If I wanted to touch the screen, which I'm not going to because I have to use the mouse for that, I could just select the plays by doing that instead. Alright, I held them to 3. I honestly didn't pay too much attention, so I'm pretty happy with that. Also, I did have a horrible kickoff, so... I didn't change the playbook. I didn't really see that it was necessary until looking at it right now. It looks like I have the wide receiver reverse in run 3. These are all the same exact plays from Tecmo Super Bowl. I got why Fateful. That's my receiver. So I'm not huge on the music in this game. It just sounds some like horrible butt rock. They didn't try to recreate the songs that were in Tecmo Super Bowl like they did in Tecmo Throwback. They just came up with their own crap, and I'm not loving it. However, the gameplay feels good. Oh yeah, we got the short throw right there. Pick up that quick first. Oh, we're doing so well. I'm really feeling it. So you do actually switch sides each quarter in this game, which is cool. I mean, there's no disadvantage there. And also, this is a DS game, so when you do play multiplayer, you obviously have 2 individual screens. So you could technically be going the same direction the whole time, so you could be playing from the player 1 perspective the whole time, but instead they decided to make it where you just switch sides every quarter, which is actually how the game is played. What's up, Deontay? I'm very happy to see that you're online right now. I didn't know if anybody else was going to pop up. I thought it was going to be me talking to myself. Well, we got a nice touchdown here for the Packers. And you can go for 2 in this game. And I'm not going to go for 2. This isn't blitz. I think you can miss it. I almost missed it right there. I thought it was pretty close to the middle. D-Slime beat me 24-21 in this game. I bet that's true. It does seem like there might be a little bit of input lag for this emulator. Or maybe I'm just bad at timing things, I don't know. How's the audio sounding, Deontay? I didn't have a chance to check that. Oh God.
First down.
We can't let them take this on me. So this game does have the dive play that was added into Tecmo Super Bowl for the Super Nintendo, which is a nice addition. The secret 9th play. They didn't do the crazy things that come on in Tecmo Super Bowl 3 and 2, where you have multiple formations. They just kept it to the classic style. And honestly, anything that can make it feel like the NES game makes it the better Tecmo game. The voice samples in this game are terrible, in my opinion. And the pseudo 3D you got going for the cutscenes is not my favorite. But, you know, that's just that's an opinion. What are opinions good for? Not much. All right, I need to score before the half here. Just for pride.
First down.
We're making our way downfield. Feeling great. Looking great. Feeling cute. Taking names. Oh yeah, that nice wide receiver reverse. They just didn't see it coming. Oh man. Never do that again. And of course, it is a Tecmo Super Bowl game, so you must see a little bit of cheerleaders, but they don't give you very much there. And they give you a nice stat breakdown for the halftime. It is presented better to me because of the way that the emulator is oriented, where there's no break in the screen. It just looks like one continuous screen. So there's actually this really cool effect where it just looks like the scoreboard is floating over the top of the fans. You just get to look at the whole stadium. A lot of the DS games didn't really utilize the dual screen functionality. It was more like, here's a map at one of the screens and the game is on the other one. Or this one, obviously, it's just the score is on one screen and then the game is on the other one. But it's still cool. Games like Contra 4 for the DS actually use the top screen, so you can move between the two screens. Man, this default Packers playbook is total crap. I might lose this game and have to take that shot I promised. And thank you, Deontay, for letting me know that the sound sounds good. I don't know if anybody was watching that game that I had with Phil on Monday Night Retro. It was a pretty intense one. I think it was the most entertaining thing we did that night. So I think you should go back and look at that video. And you got a handoff to Mr. Alarm Clock. Or maybe that's the guy in San Francisco, and I just don't know what I'm talking about. I think that might be the guy in San Francisco. Oh yeah, it totally is. And they guessed my play. Quarterback sack. I don't know if it's embarrassing to lose to the computer. For me. But I feel embarrassed. I can't say I played this game more than the length of the season. I don't think I actually ever completed a season. I know I created a team for Chicago. I changed the name and the colors of the team. And then I changed the names of some of the players to reflect the people that I knew. I didn't try to make it like the actual rosters, just because it was more time consuming than I wanted it to be.
Side change.
All right, we're going into the fourth quarter. This game seems to be going by pretty fast. I might be able to fit in like 4 of these games. Maybe I'll skip to the playoffs after this and see if there's a different sound track for the playoffs.
Blue 48, blue 48. Hot, 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 hot.
However, I'm not gonna pick the Packers. I think I'll go with the Lions. You gotta be Lions. I mean, if I lose this game, it's because I wasn't the Lions.
No good.
All right, we maintain our lead, and all we have to do is run out the clock on these boys.
Red 24. Hot.
And I'm gonna try to do that, because I really don't want to take a shot right now. I am drinking a little bit of wine. I had some wine before starting, a few glasses, and I just have one left.
Red 32.
I was thinking about going to the liquor store, but you know what? If you buy something fresh, you end up drinking all of it. And I got work tomorrow. Not early, but I got work tomorrow. And Brett Favre throws a pick, and it looks like the Niners are gonna score a touchdown here, and I might be taking this shot. Oh boy. I gotta make something happen here. And my producer off to the side just informed me the math does not add up and a touchdown will not tie the game. Thank you, producer from the side. Okay, I got 50 seconds to score a touchdown and a field goal. Oh boy. It's looking real good, folks. That didn't go as far as I needed it to.
First down.
5 seconds just ticked off, and this is going to be the last play of the game. I'm going to go down the loser, and the Niners are going to go up the victor. It looks like I might not be able to throw the length of the field. I'm probably going to have to test that. They might have changed that in this game, and that might have been one of the things that we didn't like about it. Trying to turn it into too much of a simulation game, when in reality, this is just the perfect arcade game. I don't know, perfect, but perfect arcade simulation style game. What's this weekly leaders? Oh wow. You can see, I'm assuming in season mode this shows me where they're ranked. It's pretty cool. There's a bunch of options here. Yeah, even the menu music in this game just isn't doing it for me. I don't know why they decided to recreate a game from the past and not try to use nostalgic music. I guess that's why they made Tecmo Throwback that way and actually use the SNES game for that switch screen play. I do really like the graphics in this game in comparison to just the way that Throwback is done. Okay, so let's click on season, see what happens. I am gonna go with... Oh yeah, I said Detroit. We're gonna go with the Detroit Dynamics. Dynamites, can't even read. Good job, Matt. Alright, let's see if I can simulate through the season. Nah, it doesn't look like that's an option. So I'm gonna play out my first game against Tennessee. So I guess that's the Oilers. So yeah, I'll change the UI here. Give me 1 second. you get to listen to this lovely music a little bit longer. So it looks like they did change Houston to Tennessee. Alright, live chat's back up. Now I can see it again. And it looks like nothing's changed there. And let's get this bad boy season game going. Do I have to simulate through every game until mine? Alright, here we go. Oh, I'm playing against Baltimore. Good job. Which, I don't remember who the Ravens are. I think they're just an expansion team and not a team that was moved. I wasn't prepared for this. So, it seems like the music is actually exactly the same. So rather than play this matchup, I'm going to hit reset and we can see the part of the startup screen that didn't pop up. Alright, so there was the split second you didn't see before. So we're going to do the All-Star game. So the helmets are going to be irrelevant for this one. I'm going to change the playbook for the Wildcats. Ooh. Looks like we got the classic run 3 right there. Yeah, I'm not gonna fuss around with this. I guess I will. I'm not trying to trick the computer in formations, so let's just throw some plays in there that I like. There you go. I love that guy. Best play ever. Alright, let's do this. Alright, let's see if they actually changed the music here. No, they didn't. That is another weak thing that they did. So if I'm going to talk about the graphics of this game, the cool thing that they did was add a drop shadow to the bottom of the sprite, so it actually looks like they're standing on top of the field. And a user pick to start the game. It does look like I'm using the Lions, though. One could argue that could be the Oilers. There is a lot more shading in the sprite here that gives it that like 16-bit feel, but it seems like the sprites are like reminiscent of the NES one still, but I mean that's how the Super Nintendo game looked. So it's really like the Super Nintendo game. There's also that drop shadow for the field goal post, which is present in the NES game. If you can see that in the background, they have that there. Oh, I was supposed to take a shot from losing that game. Alright. I'm going to take that shot real quick. Alright. There we go. Okay. And now let's kick my field goal. Aw, beautiful. I'm the best player ever. Watch out, Mort. Here I come. I'm gonna actually bring 2 DSs and 2 copies of this game to the next Monday Night Retro at Demon Tap just to play you in this game and see if I can beat you. Let's see if your skills transfer over to this masterpiece.
Blue 43.
It sounded like I was being sarcastic, but you know what? This is a good game. I wouldn't say masterpiece. The original game, or not the original game, the sequel to the original game is probably a masterpiece.
Red 32.
Other than, you know, like the bugs that exist in the game that we've learned about as a community, that if they weren't present, you know, the game might be a little bit better, a little more balanced, maybe a little more unbalanced. It would just change the meta of the game, really. Like any game, you change anything, you're just changing the meta. Oh my god. Right back. Oh crap. I forgot that the mouse might, oh yeah, the mouse was on top of the screen. I apologize for that. It's kind of hard to tell because I have to put the chat box over over the OBS screen where I actually can see what I'm doing. And I have to click on the emulator every time. So I apologize for having the arrow on top of the screen. It should bother me more, but you know what? I'm drinking wine. Oh, I had him and I blew it, but he threw an incomplete pass. That pressure got to him.
Round 52. Hot. 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 Hot.
Another pick. I thought this was the All-Star game. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna bring the chat back up again. And this time, I'm not gonna leave that on top of the screen. I hope it wasn't on the screen for the first game, because that would have sucked. Anyway.
Blue 43. Blue 43. Hot.
Continue we will, as Yoda would say. You would probably say, continue we must. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Blue 43. Hot.
I don't know what that little fire thing was. Maybe it was a tackle for a loss. And it's just indicating that, letting me know how much I suck. Alright, let's try to throw the full field here and see what happens. If it does not go into the end zone, then they change something. Maybe I didn't give them enough time, because the players are a little bit slower. Cider time? Oh, yeah. I just got wine. I was thinking about getting cider, but I just didn't want to go to the liquor store on the corner over here. And it closes in 25 minutes. I would have to end the stream to go there. Man, I do want more booze, though. But I have to work tomorrow. This is a very unfortunate dilemma. Okay, what am I doing? I'm playing a game. Okay, 4th and 15. I should probably go for it. I am up by 7. I got a minute left in this quarter. I just blew that punt really bad. Trying to bomb it as far as I could. Oh, I guess I was on my 50, so. Okay.
Blue 48. Hot. 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 Hot.
As far as I can tell, the players on these teams are just like nonsense names. They're not like parodies of names to let you know who they actually are supposed to represent.
Hot. 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 Blue 48. Hot. 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 Hot.
Here we go, another beautiful halftime show. Let's see if it's slightly... Oh, it is slightly different. Look at that. We got some Rock Boys. That was wonderful. They do have some randomized halftime shows. How many interceptions were thrown? I think it was 3. Yeah, 3 interceptions. Man, I'm just ripping them down. All right, it's time to show you some more high level play. So one thing I want to know from you guys, if you were watching the video to this point, leave in the comments any anecdotes you have about this game. I want to know if you actually played it. Like, were you excited when Tecmo Kickoff came out? I know I was, but that was mostly through osmosis. It wasn't enough for me to play the game. Tom and I both bought the DS together, and it mostly became my system. But this was, other than Mario Kart, this was the first game that he actually cared about that came out on the system. And I don't think he played it that long. There were some mobile iterations of this, like of Tecmo that came out. I know the early iPhone had a Tecmo game, so that probably came out in like 2006. And even before that, there were mobile iterations on, I think, on Tom's NV2 that he had, which was a Verizon phone made by LG. And it was an okay game for what it was. I mean, playing any of those mobile games was hard in general. Man, I just seem like picks are happening. Turnovers just keep happening. I don't know if it's because I'm not good at this game, or it's just about throwing into coverage, or they changed the way that stuff works. The thing that I'm always curious about this is how much of the source material did they have to go back to create this game? Like when Tecmo approaches Polygon Magic, or they're like, all right, we want you to make a Tecmo Bowl game. Here's what it's about. Go ahead, run with it. Or does Polygon Magic get all the source material? They can look at all the equations that they have for the programming and whatnot, and then apply it to their game. I guess there's no real way for me to actually find that out, but I'm curious about it. Unless I learn Japanese well enough and am one day sitting at a bar with some random salary man, I talk to him and he's like, "Hey, I work at Polygon Magic." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Did you work on Tecmo Bowl Kickoff?" "Oh, in fact, I did." This is a really dumb scenario. But you get what I'm saying. Oh, man. Blew the long kick. Gonna give them the short field for the fourth quarter. Gonna give them a chance to come back. Maybe take another shot. We'll see.
Round 52, hot, 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 hot. Quarterback sack.
M. Montaigne.
Blue 43. Hot, 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 hot.
So yeah, with this late night with Lumberjack series, what I mostly want to do is just play games that matter to me and play some things that Tom wouldn't necessarily play himself. And I'm obviously going to be playing late night because that's what the series is called. But that's usually when I'm awake. This is my prime time. I usually don't go to bed until 6 a.m. So if I see more people showing up, I might be doing multiple games a night. If it's just me, I'm going to play whatever I feel inclined to play in whatever, the one game. And then maybe people can throw out suggestions. And I'm not going to be limited to just playing the games that I own. I'll be limited to what my computer can run. So up to PlayStation 2 games, my computer can run on an emulation. If I don't have the emulator downloaded, obviously I can't play the game. But we can throw out suggestions that are crazy. I like playing anything from I'll play anything, to be honest. I love sports games. Not as much as my brother does. A lot of them don't hold my interest. However, I am mostly a video game historian, and I like to see what things are. Deontay tells me to keep playing. I'm looking at the time. I'm looking at how much alcohol I have left, and I think I'm gonna cave. And after this game, I'm gonna go run to the liquor store, and you know what? I will come back and I will play another game that I have not decided. However, I don't think I'll start streaming until like maybe 1:30, because I might have to set up an overlay for that. There is a little bit of work on my end. I'm going to try to set up an infrastructure of where I can quickly switch between games when it comes to emulation. This to getting the DS to work probably took me about an hour, the way that it is presented currently. And I think it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with myself.
Blue 48! Blue 48! Hot!
I just wanted to get one more touchdown. All right, we saw me win a game. We saw me lose a game. I took a shot. I've been drinking wine. I want to get more alcohol. I will probably do that right now. I have 15 minutes to get to the store. So I'm going to shut this one down. Thank you, Deontay Jenkins, for being the first person to watch Late Night with Lumberjack Cracks. This will happen sporadically whenever I have the motivation to do it. I could possibly do one tomorrow. I have work until close. I could be getting out late, though. So I wouldn't say I would do it until about 2 a.m. tomorrow. I might come back and do one tonight. I'm going to have to decide on a game. I'm going to have to set it up. It probably won't happen until about 1:30 if I do it. I'm gonna lean and say it's gonna be a Super Nintendo game. I already have the Super Nintendo controller plugged in. So, there's that. You know what? I know exactly what I'm gonna play. It's another DS game. It's gonna be called Mario Basketball 3. I think it's called Mario 3-on-3 Hoops. Nah, maybe that'll be another night. Right now, we're probably going to do a Super Nintendo game. I don't know. Who knows? If this was an edited video, none of this sloppy ending of stream comments would be there. But that's why you guys like to watch the live thing. You want to see the raw Lumberjack Cracks thought process experience. Alright, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching.